Do a little quick review on Adcoat. Let me see if I have a label. Hang on one second. The Adcoat driveway and floor paint. These guys advertise on eBay or sell on eBay, but they're from Florida. If you want to find them, they have gray. And I got the light gray, which is really, really light gray. Almost wish I would have went with a darker one, but this is what it looks like in place, which is cool. The thing about it that's nice is it does make it brighter in there, which is fine with me. Don't really care. I just wanted it not to be like this. This is what the concrete was like, really heavy broom finish. And the problem I was having is dirt would get into this stuff here, and it was just really hard to sweep. So even this part here where it's kind of smooth was pretty hard to sweep even. So I'm hoping that this makes it a little easier to push the broom, and maybe I can actually mop the floor. Kind of wish I would have bought another gallon. The material was very thin, but I mean, it's only $50 a gallon for a mixed product. That's pretty darn cheap. I mean, there's nothing that cheap around that I've ever seen. Home Depot has the Rust-Oleum, and that's just about $100 a gallon. So I thought I'd give this a shot, and it's really not too bad for the price. I mean, it's actually way better than a one coat of Rust-Oleum, which is what you get for that. You wouldn't be able to cover this whole floor. This is an 18 by 24 space. So it's just at my house, so wasn't really worried about it. I'm not trying to do it for a customer. So this is just something I wanted to do to see how. In fact, I'm going to do a test sweep on the broom real quick with you guys watching. So before, if I got some leaves down here, it'd be really hard to sweep them out, and I get a lot of dirt. Just trying to push the leaves would be, yeah, that's definitely a huge improvement. Not quite as much as I wanted to make it, but definitely a huge improvement. And of course, oil would just, stay on this, and I just wanted something that I could clean up on this floor. So anyway, so let me tell you guys a couple things that I found out by using this product that might benefit you if you're going to use it yourself. For $50, why not? But first of all, what I would do is whatever you figure your square footage is by their chart. So it said it would go, it was 275, 300 first gallon. I mean, that was almost spot on, but I had to really cross roll it. It was really hard to get down into the cracks. So the second gallon I broke into, I did this with 2 gallons, and I got 2 full coats on this room. So what I did, which I wish I would have done on the first, and I'm going to tell you this, so if you have a rough floor and you're trying to get it to fill, and you're worried about making that first coat, because the first thing you want to do is you get your first coat on, it gets it sealed. The second coat, it goes to like more of a fill coat. So what I would do is actually go ahead, and it doesn't recommend doing this on their can, I'm sure it doesn't, but what I did was about that, a little bit of part of my hand, a little cup of water, about that much, throw it in the paint because it's water based, and I wouldn't do any more than that. I would say 1% to 2% max. Add a little teeny bit of water to it. It really ran so much more on your first coat. That's what I would do, because soak in better to the surface and bite, in my opinion. That's just the way that I would do it. I'm not telling you that that's the spec of the product. It isn't. So, but in my experience, that worked. For your cut-in, you might not want to water that down because it's already really, really thin product. Very, very thin. But it seems to be really durable for a water-based epoxy, which is the same thing that the Rust-Oleum product is from Home Depot. If you go to the Rust-Oleum, what people don't know, that is water-based. Okay, that's a water-based epoxy. If you want to get an oil-based epoxy, it might be a better product, but in California, you can't use, you're not supposed to use it on residential. So, they do have Amaron, and stuff like that for commercial use, and that stuff's really, if it goes on like, I don't know, thicker or smoother or whatever. But like I said, for $50, it's really not bad. Well, so here's what I would do though. The two things I would do is, one thing, I would put that little bit of water in that first coat just to get it. If you have a rougher surface, if you have a smooth surface, still you might even want to do it because it just makes the material go on nice and smooth. It does bubble a little bit on the roller, so it tells me that it doesn't like it, but it does make it really those little bubbles go away as soon as it starts to dry. It smooths out really good. But I would try that if it was me, if I was to do it again. The second thing I would do is plan, if you're trying to fill in anything that's not so smooth, I would definitely get an extra gallon or even two. So, because 2 gallons is only $100. So, so let's say I want to put one more coat, I could put 2 more coats on for the price. I could put 1 more on of Rust-Oleum, and the Rust-Oleum product is very similar in thickness as this. So I've used both of them. So anyway, that's what I would do. If I were to do this again, I would have gotten an extra, probably 2 gallons, and I would have put 2 more coats on this thing, and it'd be buried. So that would be $200 in total material to paint this huge garage. Bigger than normal garage. So, that's not too bad. You can't go wrong at that price. So if you're thinking about it and you got it, I've used it. It goes on very similar to the stuff from Home Depot, which is the Rust-Oleum, water-based, and that's water-based. And it actually worked about the same. And coverage-wise, it covered really good in the first coat, but I went ahead and did a second coat to kind of fill some of this. I wanted to really make sure to fill the, and I would definitely recommend doing 2 coats on anything, to try and fill in some of this real heavy broom stuff. The concrete kind of got away from us, and there were some wet spots in it because we had it really soupy because we didn't have enough guys to get it down. And it was just, we were trying to keep the labor costs down because I had a lot of stuff I wanted to do. So that's how it ended up. And then we should have just polished it. I didn't really realize that this is what I was going to do with this area. I wasn't planning on putting a car lift in here. It was kind of an afterthought. So anyway, that's why I didn't. I went with a broom finish on it because we were kind of in a hurry. We had short manpower. We didn't want to get out there and kneeboard it, and because we just frozen this sucker and just ran it with a broom. But and like I said, I wasn't supposed to put a car lift in here. It wasn't even totally was not planned. It was just supposed to be just storage only, and it just ended up being this way. So anyway, that's why I went with the epoxy coat to kind of, get it to be a little bit better. If you're really looking for that fill, you might want to just spend the money and get the Amaron or the oil-based stuff, which is quite a bit more expensive. It's probably 3 times as much money, but if you're going to do it, just double up your materials and put 2 coats, put 4 coats on, and you'll be fine. I got 2 coats out of 2 gallons. So I'm sure you could get 4 coats or more, even 5 probably. You could probably get 5 out of because even some of the areas I triple coated, some of the real heavy stuff, I just had enough material left. So anyway, yeah, I would definitely overbuy 2 gallons, and the first coat I would definitely add just that little splash of water to, so it goes a lot further. You'll get another 50 square feet or so if you do that. Just that little tiny bit of water will make it go on thinner over the whole thing, and you'll get an extra 50 square feet on that first coat, and then it'll be sealed, and then you can go over it with your second coat, and it'll really do a better job of filling. All right, that's my review for the Adcoat garage floor coating.